All right. Welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. Um, we're going to talk about the different resources that we offer digitally here at the North Shore Library to help while we are all sheltering in place. So our physical location may be temporarily closed, but our digital location is always open. So thank you for coming all today. I'm going to go through our digital resources, starting with our ebooks. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. All right. We'll just give that a minute. Okay, so thank you all for coming. All right, so the first resource I'm going to talk about are our ebook collections, and we have two primary ways to access ebooks, and they are both available online, on a tablet, on a smartphone. So you can access them from a lot of different places. So those two main ones are Overdrive/Libby. And I say Overdrive/Libby because Overdrive is the name of the web browser, as well as for some devices the name of the application. But several or many devices use an application called Libby, which is accessing the same thing. It's just a different version of the application. So I say Overdrive/Libby because they are essentially the same thing. You're just accessing them from different places, but they have the same selection. Your account is the same. So the advantage of Overdrive/Libby is that it has a really wide selection. So it's going to offer for you, all the latest books. There's going to be a really wide selection for you to choose from. The disadvantage is that, especially when titles are popular, there can be a long wait for items on Overdrive. So that is really the advantage and disadvantage. Our second web browser/application is called Hoopla. And Hoopla is also available on the computer, on a smartphone, on many tablets. And the advantage of Hoopla is that every single thing you see on Hoopla, you can check out right away. There is never a wait with Hoopla. You will always be able to check out anything. The disadvantage of Hoopla is that you're going to have a little more limited selection. As well, there is a limit of downloads per month. So typically that limit is 4. During this time when our physical location is closed, we have upped that to 8. So you are going to be able to have a loan of up to 8 things a month. So those are really the two primary databases, applications, web browsers. There are a lot of different things, but those are our two primary sources of ebooks. So to give you a sense of what they look like, so the crimson circle is the Libby icon, Overdrive is Overdrive, and then there's the Hoopla logo, so you have a sense of what those look like. All right, so I touched on this a little, but just to give you some more context, so Libby and Overdrive draw from the same database. It's the same account. Libby is just the name for the application on many devices, but it's going to be the exact same thing. It just depends on what device you're using. So generally, we recommend, if you can, to use Libby. It's newer. The user interface is nicer. It's a little more user-friendly, but some devices you are going to need to use either the web browser Overdrive or the application Overdrive. So for some examples, some of the Kindles, you're going to want to use either the website or the application form of Overdrive, and then some Nook tablets use Overdrive instead of Libby. So speaking from personal experience, I myself have a Kindle Paperwhite. So I use the website version of Overdrive, and then really easily send it to my Kindle. So even if you're not able to use Libby, they're both, really easy to use and give you access to a ton of ebooks. So, and you can always let us know as questions come up while you're trying to access those. We are available by voicemail. We're available. There's a librarian on the website to chat from 10 to 5 on weekdays. You can also send an email. So there are lots of ways to get in touch with us if you have questions about this or are unsure which device to use. So in addition to ebooks, Hoopla and Overdrive/Libby also both offer audiobooks. So Libby, you can play them just straight from the app. So if you're using on a smartphone or a tablet, you're able to just hit play. I know most of us are probably doing a little less driving than we usually do, but I know one really popular option is if you have a Bluetooth capable speaker, syncing your Bluetooth to Libby, and you're able to listen to those audiobooks while you drive. I know that's a really popular option, but you can still listen to them while we are staying at home. And the Overdrive web browser actually does allow you to download them as an MP3, which is nice. Hoopla, similar to Libby, you're gonna play it through the app. And I'll demonstrate how to filter for ebooks/e-audiobooks. After I'm going through the different resources, I'm gonna go into the websites and demonstrate for you guys how to do that. So music. One thing I did not know until recently, but Hoopla offers a lot of music. And they have some really popular releases. So I just doing a quick search, I found they have the Frozen 2 soundtrack, and the Taylor Swift's newest album, and Hamilton, and Billie Eilish's new album, and they have a whole bunch of Kids Bop. So there are a lot of music options on Hoopla, which is really great if you, again, although many of us are doing less driving, but if you're driving, it's a really great way to access music that you don't have to have like Spotify or YouTube up. So it's a really nice option, and there really is a nice selection. One other thing I learned recently, and in fact this is both Hoopla and Libby, but they both offer movies. And Hoopla actually can be downloaded onto many types of smart TVs. So if you have a Roku or an Apple TV or use a Chromecast, I myself have an Apple TV and was really easily able to download Hoopla onto it. I think it does have to be 4th generation and above. But yeah, and access all those movies. So they have a really nice selection of lots of different movies, which I had no idea until recently. So it's a really nice alternative to streaming services. There is a little, it's not quite clear with Overdrive if you can get it to smart TVs the way that you can Hoopla. But I know I found press releases that they were working on getting Overdrive onto Roku, so I know it's something they're trying to do. I haven't seen yet if they have been able to, but you can access the movies from your browser, and watch them right on the computer. So yeah, I had no idea, but I wanted to shout those out because I think they have really nice selections. And like I said, I'm going to do some demonstrations later, and I'll show you where those are. But I was really pleasantly surprised finding this while I was digging. So I'm going to go through some of these tips and then give you a demonstration. So these are tips that we as library staff, I asked around a little and thought some of the things that I do that other people have told me to do, and I find really helpful. So one is to set a reminder on your phone for release dates of books you're excited about. So you can place, the earliest hold in Overdrive/Libby. You can recommend a book to the library and get yourself on the wait list in advance. But sometimes we're not purchasing these things until right as the book's released. So if you set a reminder on your phone, you can get yourself, look for that book. You can get yourself on that holds list early. Because as I mentioned at the beginning, the one disadvantage of Overdrive/Libby is that there can be really long wait lists. So that's one way to combat that. I'm going to show you all how to use the available now and always available filters in Overdrive/Libby. I find those super helpful. I know before I go on a trip, I use those filters to find books that I can download right then. So before I get on a plane or, get to a hotel where I'm not sure how to access the Wi-Fi, or, if I'm going on a trip or going on the road, and know I'm going to need a bunch of reading material, I use that filter to find things I can download right then. And have a nice stash, and don't have to fill up my carry-on luggage with 5 paperback books, just one Kindle. So I'm going to show you all how to use that. I think that's really helpful. One thing that Overdrive/Libby has actually just recently started doing is a lucky day portion of the website. So those are books where there's never a wait list. It's always first come, first serve. You get it for 7 days. And you just kind of see what's there and can check it out. It's very similar to our Lucky Day shelf at the North Shore Library, where it can't be placed on hold. You have to go get it. But first come, first serve. And some of the more popular titles, that's a good way to get around having to be on a wait list for a long time. So one other new thing that Overdrive/Libby just did is that they switched their model for checking out holds. So it used to be you would get notified that your hold was in and you had 72 hours to go in, to download it, to be ready to read it. And as we all know, there must be some kind of law somewhere that every book you have on hold comes in at the same time. So I myself would find, oh my gosh, I have 3 books that I've been waiting for a really long time. They have all just come in on Overdrive, and now I have 21 days to read these all. So Overdrive recently came up with a way around that. So you can now, instead of having to check the book out right away, you can do the delivery later option. So you can tell them, keep me first in line, but I don't want it quite yet. And that gives you a little more time and a little more flexibility and freedom to pick when you're getting which book out when. And it's really helpful for avoiding those buildups of books coming in. So I wanted to highlight that new feature that Overdrive just developed. The other feature I want to highlight that is brand new is Hoopla just added a bonus borrow section. So these are books that aren't going to count against that 8-a-month limit. Or I shouldn't just say books. These are ebooks, audiobooks, all types of resources that are not going to count against your 8 limit. And I'm going to show you how to find those. But it's a really nice add-in that we just had. All right.